You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Ray Donovan After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Ray Donovan After Show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Bing is for doing, and today we're doing the AFTERBUZZ TV After Show for Ray Donovan. Today we're going to be recapping Season 1, Episode 3, titled Twerk. As you can hear, we got the twerk music playing and going for you guys. I'm Kennelia, and I'm joined today by my two fab other hosts, co-hosts. Guys, introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Anna Koppel.
Shano.
And if you guys are listening instead of watching, we were just twerking, so feel free to join in with us. Like I said, today we're recapping the 3rd episode, and today it was pretty packed. It was packed with things going on with the family, going on with Ray on his job. So we're going to get right into it. We saw in the other episodes 1 and 2 that Bunchy was supposed to receive a settlement in regards to being molested by the priest.
Today, very large settlement, 1.4 mil.
Yeah, big chunk of change. Today we actually see him going to get the money, and at first he was a little iffy about it. Like, they opened up and he didn't seem like he was too sure if he even wanted to go and get the money.
Yeah, I feel like it was really, he had a very strange reaction. First of all, Sean, you just said it was a large chunk of money. I don't think that 1.4 million is that much money for having been molested repeatedly by a priest, but it's probably not that much because it was probably like a class act sort of a thing. They had to divide it between so many children that were molested. Yeah. It's just my assumption, but it was a strange reaction that he didn't want to go get $1.4 million, especially because he's in the middle of his addiction. He said he's in deep, like, come on, you can use some drinking cocaine money, can't you? It seems strange, no?
And I feel like, who is he? Okay, I feel like he was probably talking to Mickey, and Mickey must be messing with his head in some way, because he said, like, oh, that's dirty money, I can't accept it for, everything that happened, but no, it's like, dude, take the money, man, come on, seriously, like you said, he should want this to fund his addictions, or, like, just have something to play around with. He can't hold down a job, he needs this money.
Right, and it seems like everyone in his life, even, like, Mickey, there's no way Mickey is against this money. The way Mickey spends money, he does the blow in the office with his kid. Like, Mickey, it doesn't seem like he'd be the one like, yeah, no, I think it's dirty money. Ray obviously thinks it's good for Bunchy to have the money, just because, like he said, Bunchy doesn't work. He can't really keep a job. And there's nothing wrong with, having something set aside to be able to take care of you. But it was just weird how Bunchy just came up with that out of nowhere.
Right, but Ray, you said Ray wants him to have the money, but yes and no, because he also wants to be kind of the executor of this trust for him, because he knows that Bunchy can't really be trusted with this money. He can't be trusted with $1.4 million in one shot.
One check.
In one check, that he thinks that maybe that Ray should be in charge of the money and kind of dole it out to him as he sees fit.
I'm afraid that the escorts that Mickey hires might steal the check, perhaps. I don't know.
Mickey's probably already stolen it.
Yeah.
I mean,
that money is going somewhere, because think about it. If you got a $1.4 million check, you're not going to be just walking around with it in your pocket. Like, he had it just in his pocket. Like, that alone was like, ooh, that's really, that's like, that gave me anxiety.
It turns the stomach.
It does. So, like you said, Ray wanted to take over power of attorney for it. Bunchy wasn't really, he wasn't really feeling that. He said, I'm not a child. And then the thing that really got me was when Ray said, yes, you are. Like, come on, Ray. Like, even if he is, even if you think he's that, you're asking him to give you all of his money. You can't say that, because that's just gonna push people away. That's gonna like make him feel some kind of way about the situation. I think, at least, if you called me a child, I'd be like, I'm not giving you anything. No, I would say no, and I would walk out.
Bunch does really have a very immature attitude about it, and of course, like, his life decisions, like, look at the way he's turned out. You know, he's not doing anything. He's just hanging out with his brothers and his dad all the time, doing cocaine, smoking weed, whatever. But Ray seems like a do-right kind of guy, where he really would help Bunch out, and he would probably like hold the money, put it in an account, maybe put in several accounts, give him like an allowance, I'm sure a generous amount every week, to make sure that it's like, hey, you're going to spend this over the course of your life and you don't even have to work. Come on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Make some investments.
Yeah, I think I thought it was a good idea, but we'll see what happens with the money eventually, because I just don't have a good feeling that it's going to be around that long. We also saw Mickey interacting with Bunchy at his weekly meetings.
Snap, was it called?
Yes, Snap.
Which I have no idea what that stands for. If any of our AfterBuzz fans know what that stands for out there, please tweet it at us.
I'm guessing it's survivors of something, abuse
against priests.
Something.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's
That'd be
survivor
awful.
something,
Yeah.
but that was horrible.
It was.
That was
Just
horrific.
the way that Mickey was treating the whole thing like a big joke. At first, there was maybe like a little bit of scattered chuckling, but then he just kept going and going, and eventually even one of the guys, and everybody was so subdued, and they're all submissive type people. They don't have A-type personalities. Even one guy was like, dude, get the hell out of here. What are you doing here?
It was just really bad. It was really bad, and that kind of shows you, if Mickey feels that comfortable at a meeting full of people who dealt with the situation and saying this type of stuff, he really doesn't care about what he says to his own children who've been through this.
So I'd like to point out two things. First, when they're at the gym, and Ray shows up to take Bunchy to, I guess, the lawyers, and Mickey's always telling a joke. Here's one. Have you heard this one? And he demonstrates on Bunchy half Nelson, full Nelson, Father Nelson, and is miming or whatever, imitating, having anal sex with his own son. Blew my mind. Why would you ever do that to anybody who's experienced sexual abuse, let alone your own son? So just want to point that out, number one. Number two, we've had one of our viewers, listeners, said on, I think it was YouTube, that, it's really obvious that the dad molested the daughter. And that wasn't, yeah, and that wasn't completely obvious to me. But I think after that joke was told, I was like, oh, maybe.
Yeah.
So his complete insensitivity to all of it makes me think, yeah, it's a possibility.
Wouldn't put it past him.
No.
It was just really inappropriate. And again, Mickey doesn't have any, he has no emotional filter. He has no verbal filter. He has no, he's filterless in every aspect, it seems. But also when they were in the hallway, when Ray went to pick Bunchy up, they mentioned O'Connor, the priest.
Yes. And we had a little bit of an argument over this last time.
We were wondering, last week we pointed out, I'm not sure if we did it live on the air, but
I think we did.
We did. O'Connor is the last name of the priest that molested Bunchy. Connor is the name of Ray's son. So we were wondering if that's just a coincidence, or if Ray knowingly did that and named his son after that man. But that was one. And two, Ray brought up to Mickey that Mickey killed the wrong O'Connor.
Yeah, that it was his brother, and that they had moved the molesting priest 10 years before that.
Now, my question is, did he just say that to get under Mickey's skin and kind of throw him a wrench, or did that really happen?
I think it really did happen. I don't see any point for Ray. Well, he could strategically be lying, but then again, we don't know. As the audience, we're kept in the dark. There's a lack of dramatic irony there, so we really don't know.
Yeah, a part of me thinks, now that you say that, I think maybe it is true, because remember when Ray got the fax, the end of last episode, he had that smirk on his face, and we were like, is he happy that O'Connor got killed, Father O'Connor was murdered, or what is it? Maybe the smirk was, oh, Mickey, honey, you killed the wrong one.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. But we'll find out soon, I'm sure.
I agree with you, Kennelia. I think you're absolutely right. He smirked because I feel that he has something to really get at Mickey, and that's what was demonstrated this whole episode. He pretty much is setting everything up with Avi on the other side in Boston, on the other side of the United States, to frame Mickey again, to get him into prison once more.
Right. The guy who he was talking with drove Mickey from prison to the church. He kind of wanted to stay out of it, but we saw they offered him $50K to snitch on Mickey. I thought it was going to be a little bit more. Like when he said that, I was like, oh, that's it?
Well, I feel like there's some dude who, he looks like he's in retirement, probably doesn't have that much. He probably has a fixed income. So, hey, why not? 50K is a pretty good chunk of change to put in the bank account for him.
True.
All he's doing is IDing him. They're not asking him to do anything, like.
Yeah.
So.
Even, actually, Avi did say, this is a lot of money, boss.
He did. the Avi voice. So, we'll see if that actually goes through. Because when it was happening, I was thinking, oh, nothing is that simple. Just for, Mickey going back to jail, fly back over there. Oh, we ID'd you back to the slammer. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be that seamless. I have a feeling something's going to happen to that man.
Yeah, agreed. By the way, the YouTube user who commented on our video about that one comment, it's obvious that Mickey molested Ray's sister, is Manny Aggie. Thank you for your comment.
Thanks, Mickey.
Thanks.
Manny. I'm not calling people Mickey. It's ridiculous.
We're talking about Mickey too much.
I know,
tonight.
I'm just getting sidetracked. So throughout all of this, we finally meet Ray's neighbors. We saw before, mainly episode 1, the pilot episode, loud rap music blasting. The wife has a problem with it. Ray has a problem with it. If they can hear it, I'm sure all of the other neighbors can hear it. But we finally see a frustrated Ray go over, kick the door in, go into the house.
Didn't even try to knock.
Didn't knock at all. Unplugs the stereo, the speakers, and then Recon comes out with the samurai sword.
Yeah.
And apparently he's friends with Deontay, who Ray helped out in the first episode.
Right.
And now Ray's got a reputation around the neighborhood.
Right.
It's like, Deontay needs to keep his mouth shut. And says to Ray, hey, I need to buy this boy. And I was like, what? This is...
And we're introduced to Marvin Gaye Williams.
Washington.
Yeah, Marvin Gaye Washington.
So that's why I just put up W there. Damn me, I keep getting W names wrong.
That's all right.
Yeah, we're introduced to Marvin Gaye Washington. His mother is on crack because Recon wanted to buy the son. He talked it over with I forget the business partner's name.
Lee.
He talked it over with Lee, and Lee is all for it. He's like, whatever we got to do, let's get this taken care of.
Go buy him. And I don't, it really rubbed me the wrong way that, first of all, we're talking about buying people, and second of all, that they kept calling him the boy. I just felt like it was so...
It was so 1800s.
Yeah, it was like so not okay.
Yeah,
like, I hope they receive hate mail over that because it was just really inappropriate.
Well, it is Showtime. They can be a lot edgier and they can do a lot more risque things.
I guess, but yeah, and also, I just don't understand why they couldn't go through like an emancipation process that would be perfectly legitimate. Yeah, hi, my father's not in the picture. My mother is on the crack pipe and has been since this time in my life. This gentleman has offered to take care of me. I mean, why does it have to go to, we need to purchase him?
Right.
See, but I think that's probably the thing, though. The thing is with that process is that they would put him with a certified foster family within LA County. They can't just give him to some random dude who's like, he probably does not have any foster classes under his belt.
Sure, probably not.
So that I'm pretty sure that's why they did it that specific way, to ensure he makes the transfer. Pretty much it's human trafficking. He made the little
Yeah.
Marvin Gaye made the transfer over to Recon.
Right. And then Ray even asked Lee, "We're buying kids now?" And Lee said, "We've done worse." So, like what is happening here?
Killed people, obviously. Right. Imprisoned people for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So Ray went to visit Marvin Gaye Washington's mother, and like we said, she had crack pipes all over the place. She was telling, those old memory lane stories about how Marvin got the talent from her. She used to sing background for Aretha Franklin, some guy.
I love that guy. Tell him about Aretha Franklin.
And he disappears
back
into the shadows. So, we got to see Marvin's mother, and we saw her contemplating, working through in her mind what it would mean for her to give up her son. And then towards the end of the conversation, it seems like she came to an epiphany, like, okay, so I guess, like, what do I have to do? Because she was saying, I don't even know how to go about something like this. So eventually it seems like Marvin is going to be Recon's
property.
Because he was in the limo. He was like, yeah, I'm a father now?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Recon.
Yeah. Was he wearing, like, eyeshadow and lip gloss in that?
Was Recon?
He was a little shimmery.
Yeah, he seemed glossy.
Yeah, he was a little. He had a little.
He was fancy.
He was
fancy.
jazzy.
I like this fur coat.
Oh, he did have
total like thrift store video.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
not a fan.
It was very Macklemore. Like it looked like
was
very thrift shop. So that I'm sure we'll touch base on that again because Bridget now is communicating with Marvin Gaye Washington.
She is.
I don't know either of their ages. I don't recall if we talked about their ages, but
definitely young. Like I would say like 14, 15.
Both of them?
I don't know. Well, they're still in high school, so they gotta be like either 18 or under, and they don't strike me as being close to being adults.
Well, even if they were the same age, I feel like Bridget's whatever age is much younger than Marvin's. I feel like Marvin has like seen much more and done much more, and so the way he approached Bridget on the street, I was just like, oh, predator! Like, he's like,
hey, you in the jeans?
Yeah, in the shorts.
Jean
Get that fine ass over here. I'm like, don't talk to her that way. She's so little.
Poor Bridget. She's like very naive. Well, not. Yeah. She's a little sheltered. So for that.
Yeah.
Well, they're living in Calabasas in this nice like mansion-esque house. She's going to private schools.
Yeah. And so, but she likes the attention. She's like, tee okay, you know.
She invites him into the house while Abby isn't there. Abby comes in like, really, who's this kid in my house?
Yeah.
But he proved to be, a kind kid.
He was nice.
Helped her with the groceries.
Yeah, he's a good kid. But it's just, I think he's too worldly for Bridget.
Good word, I like that.
Yeah.
He is a little too worldly.
He's too experienced.
Yeah. And where is Connor? Where's Connor during all of this?
Connor was probably texting.
Yeah, he's probably at the resort.
Yeah,
probably.
he's texting, what's his name?
Hanging out with Tommy.
Tommy Wheeler.
Tommy Wheeler.
And speaking of Marvin Gaye Washington, I have to say the full name by the way. Marvin Gaye Washington being a little too worldly, we saw him asking for sexy pics from poor little Bridget.
Yeah, who gives, well, we're assuming, because he sent, by the way, gentlemen, he sends a picture of his torso.
His little bird chest.
Yeah. It's all.
Bird chest.
It was like a little, because he was like a little 16-year-old chest.
Yeah.
Like, he was like,
yeah.
Sir.
You seriously had like, it was nothing, right? He just had like this caved in chest with this like, he had no abs. It was just like a straight gut.
Right. Yeah.
He was skinny anyway, but I would have expected him to have more abs for being so skinny.
But I'm sure it was kind of like a, I've shown you mine, now you show me yours kind of thing. And mine was bare-chested, so yours should be as well. I assume this is the road he's going down. So, and then she goes and like closes her door and, Bridget, don't do it to yourself, girl.
Both of the kids, probably from the parents' perspectives, are like about to have inappropriate relationships, right?
Yeah, they definitely are. And we saw the previews. We'll touch on that later, but we see something going down with Bridget and Marvin Gaye Washington. So it's gonna get bad. But you know, at this point, because everyone is so focused on things that are going on, Ray with work and his father, and Abby trying to figure out what's going on with her and Ray, nobody really is paying that much attention to Bridget and Connor. They're kind of just left to, you know, to do them. And that's usually the case sometimes when the kids start to get older, like that high school age. But
when the parents have tons of problems to worry about in their work lives and their personal lives, they lose track of the kids, and the kids end up doing some bad stuff.
Yeah.
Connor could be gone or dead in his room for all we know. The parents, because I mean, we don't know. We haven't seen him for days. So
he could have a sex change.
Sure.
He'd be hanging out with what's her name from last week.
Yeah. Why can't I think of it? Chloe.
Yeah.
So let's touch a little bit on Abby and Ray. The beginning of the episode, Ray still hadn't come home. He was gone for about 5 days at his apartment. Came home, drops his laundry on the bed, grabs his stuff, some extra suits and clothes. Abby is livid at this point. She's yelling at him like, what is happening? You can't just stay away. And he drops her some cash, like, you know, like, here, buy yourself something nice.
Yeah.
And leaves. Now,
But he wanted her to dress nice for the event.
true.
Yeah.
True, but it was, as a couple with kids, when you stay away like that, when the parents fight, because the kids notice, because we saw Bridget call Ray and say, Daddy, when are you coming home? Are you coming home tonight? Kids notice that. So for Ray to just be gone for that much time, I get that you're mad at your wife. I don't know what it's like to be married, but can't you just like sleep on the couch or something? Or like,
not if you have a bachelor pad. Why would you?
that's true.
True that.
Good, yeah, that's true.
He has to work. He's got to keep his mind focused.
Yeah, gotta stay sharp.
He's compartmentalizing the typical guy trait.
Yeah.
So we saw that Abby, you know, after that, she got pissed. She didn't feel like she needed to do his laundry, grabs all of his designer suits, takes him to the donation store at the local church. Now, these were nice suits, like Armani suits. She was over it. She was giving the suits away. Here, take them. I don't care. They were like, the priest was like, these are a little nice. Are you sure? And
What was the other one? Zenga? Zegna?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I don't buy men's suits.
Yeah, it was something nice.
And I don't buy suits. I like buy pieces and I put them together. But damn, those like I've never even heard of that brand. So it must be really out there, above my pay grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's above mine. So.
For sure.
So, you know, the priest, he took them reluctantly, but Abby was, you know, had her mind made up, and on the way out, she runs into a poster or a picture on the wall, and it said, Jesus forgives?
Yeah, yes.
And then she had an epiphany.
No, I think actually she was kind of shunting that, or she was kind of like, she was trying to put it out of her mind at that point. She put on her glasses, and that seemed to me like a metaphor, like, okay, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to listen to you, Jesus. I'm not going to listen to you, God. It really hit her at yoga, and that's where she had an epiphany, and right after that, she came back to get the suits.
Right, that's right, exactly, because she actually said, because the priest said, oh, are you a member? And she said, no, you know, we don't go to church. I've been thinking about it. We should. I go to yoga.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny that they kind of touched on that because there's something in the news too about some like high schools teaching yoga in like the PE curriculum.
I took it.
And
Yeah.
oh, say that again?
I took it in
Oh,
high
you
school.
took it.
Yeah.
See, but some parents are arguing that it's religious and they're not allowed to teach religious practices in school because there has to be a separation of church and state. You know, the secularism.
Right.
So it's like that. The yoga for Abby, it seems like it's her religion, kind of,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it seemed like it really was her, you know, religion, because we saw when she was at yoga, she had a breakdown on the mat. She kept trying to get up. Her yoga teacher was like, no, just relax, breathe. And she was like, I got to get out of here. But
Shasana.
yeah, but you know, it worked for her. I guess that, like she said, she doesn't go to church. She goes to yoga. That seems to be her place to, you know, to gain clarity. As soon as she had the breakdown, she got up and went to get the suits back because she, you know, she felt bad about it.
But she still left a good $2,000-3,000 donation. So that
She
was,
did.
Oh my goodness.
So
She
that
did.
was good.
Yeah, she was nice.
Yeah, that was really generous.
And I thought it was so ironic too that Ray and his family have been molested by priests, supposedly, right? And she's like donating this stuff. It's just so ironic that she's donating so much to the Catholic Church.
Well, yeah, I think, though, I don't know. First, you can't blame every priest for what a few priests have done.
Oh,
you can't hold it against Catholicism. And I also think it's so, like, there's so many Catholics in Boston, you know, and to, like, be raised in that environment. So it's difficult to separate, I think. You know?
And let's not forget, though, if Mickey had some involvement in the family situation, whether it be with the priest or the backlash from the priest, if Abby doesn't really have a problem with Mickey, she won't really hold anything against the entire church within itself. Because if she did, it seems like she would be a little more aggressive in her fight to keep Mickey away from her family. But it seems like Abby is pretty even keel with things, you know. If Ray and the brothers don't really fool with the church, she probably gets it, but it seems like she's like, okay, well, but I'm gonna donate and give these suits, and here's a little cash. You know, God bless you.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about a little bit about Ray and Abby's night at the event, but really quick, Terry. We saw at the beginning of the episode, Terry was boxing with his brother,
Daryl,
who's still, by the way, beaten up from getting his butt kicked last week. He goes a little too hard with Terry and hurts his arm. We know Terry has Parkinson's, but it kind of pushed him over the edge. The nurse comes, and she, you know, is massaging Terry, but he's just really uptight with her. He's really kind of mean, but it seems like he doesn't mean to be. It's like his natural guard that's up.
Yeah.
But I like how she's taking her time with him. Yeah. She's like, it's like I kind of understand. She gets it. You know, most women will be like, listen, I don't really have time for this, sir. You're really mean to me. But she, you know, she stays around. She's, you know, she seems like she likes him just as much as he likes her.
And it's an extra visit for her. She is going out of her way.
True.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Ray paid her to.
Oh yeah, he did that.
But I think she likes it too.
Yeah, I think she well, obviously we see later she must think something of Terry because Terry put his clean shirt on. He put his nice outfit on, storms into the diner. How did he know she was at that diner anyway? It was a little weird. I was like, how did she?
He stalks her.
Yeah, I was like, Terry. But he comes into the diner and he's like, I paid back the money. You know, or whatever he said about the money. Really mean to her, and then eventually asks her, his way of asking for a date is, do you like spaghetti? She was like, yeah. He was like, okay, and storms out.
I thought it was funny how he left and then he came back like that. It was just like, all right, I'm gonna ask you on a date. And he does it.
And smiles. We see a huge smile on his face afterwards.
A very genuine smile too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get to see more good things with Terry, because he, you know, everybody needs somebody, and given the fact that he seems a little emotional still about the woman that's name is tattooed on his chest, you know, it seems like this is a good time for him to try to not move on, but, you know, get some more female attention. Now, Ray and Abby, on the other hand, we saw at the beginning they were a little rocky.
Very rocky.
Very rocky, yeah. And they warmed up, you know, with each other by the end. Well, towards the end of the episode, when Abby showed up at the party, Ray sent the limo for her to the house, so she really had no choice but to come.
How did she look so good between sitting, smoking cigarettes, being like sweaty from yoga, to the money she was supposed to use for a new dress got, you know, donated to the Catholic Church, and she just showed up like, oh, the limo's here? Give me 2 minutes.
We don't know how much time it took.
See, this is where I don't really, you know.
Hey, you women take like an hour and 10 minutes to get ready.
I mean,
it's a nice event too. So
on a regular day.
Yeah, add a little more time.
Yeah.
Because she had a nice dress on. Her hair was done. She had her makeup done. That's like a 2.5 hour.
Yeah.
She looks stunning.
You know?
Yeah, she looked really nice. And Ray, you know, he was happy to see her. He was like, "Oh, you came." She said, "Do I really have a choice?" But the event wasn't really about that. It was about Ezra starting, breaking ground on
Ruth's center. Ruth is his wife that passed away. So it was for breast cancer?
ovarian cancer.
Ovarian cancer.
So Ezra, he gets up, you know, to prepare to make a nice speech.
And then Deb, his mistress,
who's played by Denise Crosby, by the way. She was on Star Trek back in the 90s, The Next Generation. Lieutenant Tasha Yar.
she's making a fool of herself.
Seriously, she was intoxicated, and she started to upset everybody around her, just a tad, right?
Right.
But what really upset Ezra was Mickey showing up, and he's seriously doing psychological warfare with them.
Yeah.
He's trying to break everybody down like one bone at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's working.
Well, I just really quickly want to say that before we start talking about that with Deb, Abby was the one to sort of grab her and take her out of the room. So in that way, she was the fixer in that moment. And so I don't know if those are traits she picked up from Ray or if she just naturally does that. But that's all. So please carry on, Mickey.
Oh yes. So Mickey, it's so odd how he has this vengeful agenda, obviously, against Ray and everybody in his crew, because he views them as putting him away in prison for 20 years, like they framed him, right? We, as the audience, we don't really know what really transpired all those years ago. But I see some parallelism here. Like it was pretty neat to see like him in the library reading Moby Dick, and he's reciting parts of it. And it's totally, to me, it's totally parallel with what's going on with him and Ray and everybody, because they wounded him. They're like this great, huge gang in a way. In a way, they're like a mob, right? Mm-hmm. And now he's going after them, and it's like a fool's errand in a way, because it's just him. He's just by himself right now, and he's going after this great white whale that took away 20 years of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. But before that, let's not forget that he paid some kid at the library to use his computer. The kid was like, okay, so what do you want my help with? He pulls up twerk videos at the public library.
Yeah. Hey, I've seen people pull up worse at the library.
True. He's like, no headphones on. Yeah. He's like jamming to the music. Big booty girls just twerking at the library.
Yeah.
And guys staring at him from across the way like, dude, what are you looking at, old man?
And once again, Mickey does not care.
He doesn't care. He's like, what? You want to get your ass kicked, son?
Yeah. Or he's like, come over here and look too. So, it's that shows you Mickey, like you were saying with Mickey reciting Moby Dick and how it relates to what's happening in his real life. But on the other hand, Mickey, very simple. He wants to watch. He wants to see porn. He wants to see naked women. He's very diverse with his.
He's very old-fashioned. He just does whatever he wants.
Yeah,
I feel like he's, he was in prison for, he got imprisoned in the 80s, and he's been in prison for 20 years or more years, whatever. Well, it's 20 years, but he's been in prison for 20 years. He's a man out of time, seriously. I feel like him going to that snap meeting and making those horrible jokes and telling them to toughen up and we'll teach you some boxing over at the studio. It feels like he is seriously a man out of time, and that's just the way he is. That's the way he deals with stuff. Yeah. And in a way, the world's gone soft, with the exception, I think, of Ray and his crew.
That's an interesting way to put it. In the library, you said 20 years. This gentleman approaches him and says that he's the reason that Mickey's out of prison, that he's out 5 years early. Because Mickey says, I'm the reason I'm out. So now you're supposed to do another 5 years. So we'll talk a little bit more about this character. I don't know if you want to do that now. Or...
Yeah, real quick, guys, before we jump into that, just please continue to support us on iTunes. Guys been doing great. We've been getting crazy downloads for the Ray Donovan After Show. We thank you so much. But be sure to go to iTunes, give us 5 stars, comment, let us know what you think about the show. If you have any theories or anything that predictions, just put it in there. We read it all the time. Let us know. We'll discuss it. If you have specific questions, we'll bring them up on the air, because we're interested to know what you guys think about the show. Again, 5 stars. make a comment, like us. Also, check out the other after shows too. We do all kinds. There's wrestling. We do the newsroom just started up. Housewives of New Jersey.
Dexter.
So Dexter, you guys, these two guys are on the Dexter after show. So check us out, guys. Just download everything. Go in there and go crazy. There's also a podcast app where if you download on your phone, whether it's an Android, iPhone, you can download the podcast directly into the app, and it just keeps them all in one place. So you can navigate easily. If you like 5 after shows, you like 1, whatever, they're all there. Enjoy.
And
Yay.
something else they can download is actually the Adventures of Serial Buddies movies. So that's right, you guys, AfterBuzz fans at home, sitting there on your couches or at your computer, whatever, go ahead and download Adventures of Serial Buddies. It's pretty much Dexter meets Dumb and Dumber, freaking hilarious movie, written, directed by Kevin Undergaro, and starring Maria Menounos. She's in it. We got a bunch of cameos from awesome stars: Christopher Lloyd, Christopher McDonald, Artie Lang, Kathy Lee Gifford's in it too, and my personal friend Gian Molina is on it. He's freaking hilarious.
Beth Bear's Two Broke Girls.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys download it, enjoy it, rate and comment it, and also download it, man. It helps us keep the lights on here at AfterBuzz TV.
We have a lot of lights to keep on.
Sure,
you don't even know.
And it keeps our podcast going to fill your earbuds with awesome podcasts.
Cool, guys. So Anna touched on this new character. He's an FBI agent. Did they say his name?
I'm looking up right now. I'm looking at the cast, and I believe this is actor Frank Whaley, and he plays Van Miller, it looks like. I think that's the character's name. You guys go ahead and talk about it. I'm going to confirm.
Okay, cool.
To make sure.
Okay, so the conversation they had in the library was that that Mickey ratted out some character named Sully. I'm sorry, I'm like all tangled up in wire. I'm
You
thinking
totally
Sean.
stepped on
I'm
my
sorry.
foot. Oh my goodness.
It's a disaster under this table. Anyway, that Mickey ratted out Sully, who the FBI wants, and that's why Mickey got out 5 years early. Now.
Oh, if I could interject, it
Please.
is Frank Whaley, and he's I forgot what he was in. He's best known for Pulp Fiction. He was the guy who got totally shot up by Samuel L. Jackson. And,
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember scene. Nice.
He's big. What? What? Ain't no country I ever heard from. Oh, okay, go on.
And so at the very end, we see that he has this like wall of people with X's over their faces, and he is after Ray's crew, Ezra and Sean Wheeler and Ray himself. So this is a new character, and we'll.
Yeah, and he was very type A.
Yeah.
Before we even saw the wall, he sat down. Well, he didn't even sit down. He put his suit jacket neatly over the chair, brushed the shoulders off.
Yeah. His shirt was pressed.
Shirt was pressed, tucked in evenly all the way around.
He always and only has one beer whenever he's thinking in that basement.
And he drank it really. It was just that whole setup was really kind of creepy.
It was like a ritual.
It was. It did look like a ritual. But like Anna said, we saw the wall full of everybody. And it's crazy to me that while Ray is hunting Mickey, this guy is hunting Ray. And he's totally oblivious to this. His whole focus is get Mickey out of the picture, make sure Ezra trusts me so he can stop, Mickey can stop stalking my whole crew. But meanwhile, it seems like Mickey is going to start working with the agent and have some sort of, not protection, but
Something.
yeah, something to where now Ray is the target.
Yeah.
Immunity, probably. Or he's just paying him money.
Right. So we'll see what happens with that. But I do think now this new character is going to be a thorn in people's sides. But we saw in the previews that it's going to get a little tricky because he looked like he was going to get beat up. It looks like Ray found out who he was in his office, and was just going to go and grab the bat and go to work on him.
He did kind of look like Hitler a little bit.
He did.
When he was drinking that beer, the way he was like standing so upright, and you got it's so dim in that basement that you have the shadow over his stash. It makes it look like he's got a Hitler stash.
Yeah.
He did. He did look a little weird. But, that's I think it seems like in order to do a job like that and to be so adamant about picking people off one by one, you kind of gotta be a little, you know, not off the rocker, but you have to be a little meticulous and maybe a little bit weird or crazy.
And you know, it didn't even look like an official investigation. He's down there by himself, not in a command center or some kind of office. He's there by himself in a basement.
Good point.
Working on this, whatever he's doing to break down Ray Donovan's gang.
But you've seen when they're like, "You're off the case," and he's like, "I'll do it on my own time."
Oh, it could be one of those. It could be one of those, Anna.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good
He
call.
got kicked off the force.
Yeah.
Now he's pro bono. He's working freelance.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing freelance work and crime. All right, guys. So interested to see what's going to happen next week. It's going to get juicy. Like we said, the previews, we saw a lot going on again still. Stuff going on with Bridget. Stuff going on with her and Marvin Gaye Washington. Ray and the new FBI agent. So let's wait until we got 7 days. Let's wait to see what happens. Do we got any news and gossip?
I do.
Yeah.
Let's get to juicy news and gossip, guys.
Oh, I missed the explosion.
Oh.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Awesome. Well, I got a couple of things. Let's see. Ray Donovan's account at show_Ray Donovan tweeted, "There's a right way and there's a Ray way. Take a look at the way hashtag Ray Donovan loves." And if you click on that link from their tweet, it goes to their Tumblr account, which actually shows a really funny meme. It's actually, I think it's a GIF with what we got the Disney character's name. What was her name?
Because that was part of my news.
Anyway, that one blonde Disney girl that's
Amber
obsessed.
Childers.
Amber Childers. Okay, so that's the actress's name, right?
That's the actress's name.
Okay, so it shows Amber Childers' character saying to Ray, "I love you." You guys remember when she
Ashley
said that?
Rucker is her character's name.
Ashley Rucker.
Yes.
So she says, "I love you" to Ray in the GIF, and then it goes to Ray saying, "All right," and he's getting up. That's the the way that Ray loves. At show_Ray Donovan also tweeted, retweet at show_PR hashtag Ray Donovan continues to grow up 15% last night versus its hit record-breaking series premiere last week.
Oh, wow.
So that's amazing. Liev Schreiber, at Liev Schreiber, also tweeted a couple days ago. Oh, well, actually, this was last month. Shooting our final episode at Union Station and pocket tweeting, great location. And he took a picture of that mural, that beautiful mural, which features a bunch of people from LA and Martin Luther King Jr. is in it too. And I was actually walking through when they were shooting, and I saw the guy who plays Avi there. And if Liev Schreiber was there, I freaking missed him. And I went through this part of the station too that day. And I was like, damn it when I saw the tweet. Additionally, Eddie Marzen, at Eddie Marzen, who plays Terry on the show, he just tweeted a couple days ago, "Got me suit, ironed my shirt, and bought my man spanks from George at Asda. Gonna look fucking hot at hashtag the World's End premiere tonight," which is a movie that he's actually co-starring in with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. So it's one of those movies again, those like funny British films. I saw the trailer for it. The film looks like these guys are going on a pub crawl, and they're trying to get to this pub called the World's End, and all kinds of crazy robots are in the town taking over the townspeople's identities and such.
So is it like a thriller? Is it like...
It's like this mismatch of like just like British comedy with sci-fi stuff, and that's what Simon Pegg and Nick Frost love to do. They're always doing these movies together, like Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead and such.
Awesome.
And I think that about does it with my news and gossip. Oh, I had one. Oh, I think I had. Oh, that's about it. There you go.
Okay, so I had Amber Childers, who plays Ashley Rucker, is pregnant, and she is expecting her baby in November.
Oh, congrats.
Congratulations. And so we finally have your name, too. So that's all.
Cool, guys.
Sweet. I had one more thing to add also. Someone else commented on our YouTube channel, What FC, said, "I find Ray Donovan incredibly depressing. The acting is superb, but everything is morose." And I kind of agree.
Yeah,
Did you,
I can see that a little bit.
I noticed this episode that there's not that much music on the show. It really only kicks in during like the really like sad parts that we're meant to like feel something for the characters.
Yeah.
Like Ray's trying to protect somebody.
Yeah, there are a few funny moments, but even with the funny moments, it's like, especially like when real quick, when Mickey brought the hookers in and he wanted them to twerk for Bunchy. You know, that whole situation, it was funny at first, but then when you think about it, it's like, oh, poor Bunchy. Like,
Yeah.
he's going down the same path of his dad.
He's gonna get his check stolen.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, with that said, let's get into some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I'm not really going to predict anything in regards to Marvin Gaye, Washington, and Bridget, but I am wondering, I know we saw Ray, he's going to get a little aggressive with the kid, but I want to know I'm anxious to see how far it goes. Because we know Ray is very protective with his children, especially given the family past. Once it seems like he finds out this kid did something to Bridget inappropriately, he could be borderline about to murder him. So that has me a little on edge. I wanna jump to next week or whenever to see how that ends up.
I predict that, Bridget will have sent these sexy pictures. It's going to go viral. And Ray's going to have to fix that. And it's going to be difficult because it's on the internet. So we'll see how he tries to fix it.
I like that.
That's an interesting prediction,
like
but if I was going to go off the teasers and what's kind of like set, I would probably say that they won't go viral necessarily, because why would she still be in the teaser? It looks like she's still hanging out with Marvin Gaye, so I don't think she would necessarily do that unless she doesn't find out about them going viral and Ray fixed it already.
Or maybe it goes viral after Ray beats up the kid and he does it out of spite.
Ooh, that's a good one.
We'll see.
I'm gonna say Mickey knows that Van Miller is an agent, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care if he's helping this guy out, but he's just doing it to spite Ray and get back at him and company. And I feel like Terry's gonna develop a relationship with his nurse.
I agree with that one. All right, guys. Once again, thanks for listening. This is the Ray Donovan After Show. Join us again next week, same time, same place. Where can we find you guys?
You could follow me at Koppel for Mayor, KOPPELFORMAYOR.
And you can find me on Twitter at Sean Austin O. Same thing on Instagram.
And you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Kennelia. Thanks. See you guys later.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.